What was it like?
I'd always worked for a reasonable time for myself, and to find myself at the hands of a large public company, I was very anxious to go.
How important is the industry that you work in as far as the economic success of the country is concerned?
The truth is that
What do you feel about London generally? Is it as welcoming as it was to tourists?
I think that the real dilemma at the moment is that
Welcome to Talking Markets. I'm Michael Wilson. I'm joined as ever by my former colleague and continuing friend, David Buick.
Can't get away from the can
And very pleased to say we're joined by a special guest today on this podcast, Andrew Love. You help considerably with the running of the Ritz, which you've done for a long, long time. Let me ask you about that. Why did somebody from as diverse a background not finish up, but why are you working at the Ritz? What do you actually do for them?
well, as little as possible, of course, because the truth is that I started in 26 years ago, and I was asked to join the Ritz, and since then I've become managing director of and CEO and chairman of the Ritz Club, as it was when it was originally opened, and subsequently in 2004 I became deputy chairman of the hotel, then chairman of the hotel, until our new owner purchased it. But I mean, my career has been a mixture of hospitality, motor trade. I'm a jack of all trades, a master of none, as they say.
I wouldn't go, I'd say master of many. Just to take us back a little bit, I mean, since Abdullah Amana al-Hajri bought the hotel, I think in 2000, for a reported 750 million, whatever it was. But I'd like to go back from the history a little bit, Andrew, to ask you, because it was, I think, the Barclays brothers at the time that asked you to join the Ritz, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Was that a really interesting time? They got it for virtually a song, 80 million quid.
The truth is that I had sold a business to Ladbroke to Hilton, as it was, and there were a series of casinos, and I'd always worked for a reasonable time for myself, and to find myself in the hands of a large public company with all the difficulties many public companies have,
Politics and trappings, yeah.
whatever you like to call it. When they approached me, I was very anxious to go, because I was under a contract for 4 years, which was really expired, and they had in their basement of the hotel a club that was originally owned by London clubs, who used to sponsor all the racing things, as you'll well remember, the London Club's Cup for, well, it was known as the Ritz Club, actually. And London clubs had moved their license from that premises, and they asked me to come along and help get them a new license and open the club, which is exactly what I did.
I'm going to ask you an obvious question, which is how important is the industry that you work in as far as the economic success of the country is concerned?
I think that the real dilemma at the moment is that overseas visitors see London as an area that they're becoming more increasingly conscious and aware of the problems facing them when they come here. We have in London, I have to say, quite a lack of law and order. We have lots of phone thefts, in America we get a lot of publicity about all the crimes that are being committed in London, and whatever else the mayor hasn't done, and this is not a political, whether it was Labour, Conservative, doesn't matter, there is no policing properly in London. We never see anybody on the streets. We have a dilemma, for example, if you look at Park Lane, which used to be number one on the Monopoly board, those of us that played it, and we have an encampment at the top end by Marble Arch of overseas visitors of, I've no denomination that they are from, but it doesn't reflect happily on London. So you've got that, you've got the crime, various other things that have affected tourism
Let me develop a variation on this theme. I mean, have you met Sir Mark Rowley yet? I I mean, is there any change since he became Commissioner? Is there any commitment to get it tidied up?
The answer to that is I also happen to be Vice Chairman of HOLBA, which is Heart of London Business Association. They have constant meetings with the government and the police, and we have constant promises that things are going to be done. But to be fair to the police force, they're understaffed. They're been, if you like, looking after demonstrations which have been numerous in London over this Israeli-Palestine conflict, and they've been diverted from other things. So I have a great deal of sympathy for that, but they're still understaffed.
And you can listen to the full version of that podcast wherever you get your podcasts from.